Oh, alright, here we go. Another day. Mhm. Why, hello. Back again. Hmm. My voice is quiet. Are you sure? Hmm. Let's see here. Seems like my voice is coming through. Alright. Can use that to determine. Every time I move, I'm gonna have to get kind of chunk size, rather. Chunk size. I think I can go do this similar. Hey, welcome back. It's going all right. I found a new issue to wrap my brain around. Mm-hmm. Loaded black. Hmm. how this is turning out. Well, right now I'm trying to expand on the chunk loading system. Because I had it before where nearby planets will pop into existence when you get near them and then disappear, or save and disappear when you get too far away. So that way the game doesn't become too overwhelming. Because I found out that if I make my planets too big, it starts lagging the game. So I'm gonna have to make it so that way the chunks and the planets that are near the player are the only ones that get loaded in. I don't know if there's a... Doesn't look like there's even a planet. What happened? It's probably because I've been messing with my code. Oh. Oop, that's wrong. Yep. Like this. Maybe hard for you to tell, but I can clearly tell that my game is lagging just because this thing is so big. It's got a lot of little individual polygons loaded, and that's not good for performance. So yeah, I've got another issue that I need to fix, but one at a time. I need to make it so that way, instead of loading in the entire universe at the start of the game, which would potentially take hours, I'm gonna have to just load in the nearby stuff first and work my way out slowly as the player is able to, start playing the game. So the entire universe, not the entire universe, is gonna be loaded in right at the start. It's gonna happen over time. But once the whole universe is loaded in, I'll just have the data and, well, generated. Once the whole universe is generated, I'll have the data. I'll be able to access that data fairly quickly, I would assume. But we'll see what kind of issues I run into later. Ordered planet chunk holders. Now, do I put this in? Alright, good night. Thanks for checking in. Save, get save data. Because this contains, or does it? What is contained? It's contained in there. This doesn't contain the chunk data, so I think do something like this. Scene. No. Well. I might want to access that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Maybe. We'll see. My mind doesn't feel like it's completely here right now. I feel like I'm going through this without thinking much. Just to see what happens. Okay, load planet chunk. This is going to be called. What I want to do is have a ready function. Planet chunk dot connect. To save planet chunk, which doesn't exist yet. here. Already connect those. These are important. I want to see. Looks pretty low planet instantiate. What I'm gonna want to do here is have chunks. Yep. It's lower. Yeah. Hmm. Get the polygon. Well, this requires me to have information of all the polygons. Quick access. I would like. Planet. So if I can get the chords, which I can. Dot planet data. Looking for specifically for planet cores. Dot find returns the int find. Yep, returns the index. So use the index to get the planet data for this planet. That's not all I want. Within planet data, I'm looking. This returns its dictionary. I'm looking for the chunks. How do I retrieve from dictionary? Again. Is it like that? This will return all the chunks. That's not what I want, but I think, let me see. Load game. Data. And this should be, data should be a dictionary. This is a dictionary. Do that, you get the right. So this returns all the chunks I'm looking for specifically. Returns an array. It's an array. So that means I can do dot get. Load planet chords, save planet chords. Yeah, I need chords. Dot get chords. That returns the index. What am I looking for again? Get index. This doesn't return the index, that returns the index. This will, I'm supposed to put an index in here. Find chords. Chords up. Variable is already defined. I should do chunk. Find chords. This returns the array of chunks for the planet. This planet. I'm looking for a specific chunk at specific chords. Coordinates. Problem is they don't have that information. They're just polygons. Where are they? Oh boy. This is gonna be a lot. This is gonna be a lot, isn't it? I'm looking for... Yeah, because they don't have the information. They don't know the chunks don't know their position in space. I need them to know their position in space. I need them to have some sort of coordinates relative to something that I can utilize. I would just think, coordinates relative to what? I think I'd have them have coordinates relative to their the coordinates of their planet, which is itself on a much larger chunk system, I think I could do that. But at the moment, they don't have that information. I don't think they do. And I think I need it. I'm setting myself up for a lot of work. Oh boy. It's necessary though. Chunk polygon equals, okay. So chunk coordinates. Get I'm gonna need. Alright, look at this here. Global universe. What I have, what I save under here. Where am I? Global universe. Start game, save game. I use planet data, planet chords, player position. Planet cores, player position. This is the big stuff there. Load. Now, planet data. Ah. Our planet data contains the coordinate for the planet, the size of the planet, and all the polygons. This here is an array of packed vector 2 arrays. This is chunks that append. Wrong. No, that's right. Append I. This is a packed vector 2 array. Is it not? Or I in that. Polygons append I. That's a packed vector 2 array. Appending into this. Polygons is an array of packed vector 2 arrays. So when I append it to chunks, that means the chunks is an array of arrays of packed vector 2 arrays. I forget why I did it like that. So void, this happens, load planet. Planet.set save data, and I have that here. Set save data. For C in data chunks. This should return a bunch of arrays. Var chunk equals chunk preload instantiate. This is why. An array represents a static body 2D. And all the packed vector 2 arrays within represent all the collision polygons and polygons that need to be children of it. I could do it differently, but I think this is fine. I think it's good, in fact. So that's why I did it that way. That's why I did it that way. I did it my way. Planet quartz. Planet data. Diamond. Treed. Within planet data, I've got chunks which contain packed array. I think what I want is it to be set up here. Chunks. This is an array of arrays. Each of the arrays should have a unique coordinate relative to this value, the planet coordinate. So, chunk chords like that. Chords. What is chunk chords? Well, I don't know. Ah. Yeah, variable is not defined. How am I gonna get that? Well, it has got to be, if I go up here, coordinates, I think it's for X in size, for Y in size. Size is the planet size, so it's iterating over all the chunks. Here, chunk chords. Look at this. A variable defined right here. Important. A variable defined right there. That gets the... Alright, so size, X, planet chunk size. Boom. Bar, square. This is done. These things are done. So their coordinates are relative to the planet. Square gets this. I think what I can do... This remains intact. If not polygons is empty. Chunks.append polygons. This is an array with packed vector to arrays. It represents the values that are important for a singular chunk, a static body that I'm gonna have. So if that is one that's gonna be popped into existence, I can also take chunk chords, which has been set up here, and var chunk chords. I'm gonna have to give that a different name. And up here, where I've got chords, size, chunks, var chunk chords array. An array of vector 2's, vector 2i. Chords, size, chunks, chunk chords. This down here is gonna have to be different. There's so many variables, and it makes sense for them to have names, but they can't have the same names. Chunk chords should work, but it works for the other one better, so I'd want this to be different. Chunk chords. chord. Chunk coordinate. Alright, so now I can just do chunks, chunk chords dot append chunk chord. There we go. So they append here at the same time. Chunks. Where else does this get modified? This isn't a generation of a planet. It comes into existence right there. And these things only get modified together at the same time. They're gonna be aligned exactly how I need them to be. So that's good. Now I have data a little bit bigger. It's got chunk chords in it. Planet data, append data. Fantastic. And after all that, let's see here. Load game, planet data equals data, planet data. Great. That's what it needs to be. Change scene to file void. And here, under ready, it connects these signals here. It calls reload chunks just one time, given the player position divided by global universe chunk size. Oh, because I do save that in. I do save this as vector 2, the actual global player position. Because I save in here. I want that information. That's good. Reload chunks given the player position. Global universe dot chunk size. Yeah, so reload the chunks around that. I think it rounds down, even if it's like 1.9, rounds down to 1. If, reload chunks, let me see here. Reload chunks. It's a vector 2i. Data is lost, but that's what I want. I want it to be rounded down. Round. Next. 2.4 returns 2. 2.5 returns 3. 2.6 returns 3. I want it to round down. Floor, seal, does floor? Ah, rounds X downwards towards negative infinity, returning the largest whole number that is not more than X, supported by type. Int. Floor. Oh, we got floor I. Easy. So A equals floor 2.99 goes down to 2. A equals 4 negative. Do I want it to snap like that though? Nope, that's not what I'm looking for. Ah. Oh, no. I need... Oh yeah, that's floor. That's what I want. Floor I think. If I'm at 0. 0. If I move a little bit to the left, I'm going in the negatives. And what is going to be 0 point something? It's going to round down to 1. That sets me in a new chunk. I don't want that. That's not what I want. Unless... Wow. My brain is slow today. Alright, so it does this and that works alright. I need to modify it, but it works alright. That's what's important. Under ready, it does that. It connects the things. It tells this to do its thing. Which spawns and saves things around me. Most importantly, it's not going to save anything because there's nothing loaded. But emit signal, load planet. This should load planets around me if there are supposed to be planets there. Coming back here, load planet. Planet equals preload planet instantiate. Planet to set save data. It takes in the data. Sure. Chords, planet scenes, append planet. Cool, add child. And now set save data is within the planets. Chords equals data dot chords. Size equals data dot size. Data for C in data chunks. So this iterates over. This iterates over the array chunks. Returns a bunch of arrays full of packed vector to arrays. So var chunk equals preload dot instantiate for P for polygon in C for chunk. Polygon and polygon equals the values that it returns. I said it here. Yep. And I add them. That's all I do there. Add child chunk and then position chords. Chords times chunk size, planet radius equals that. Okay. Don't care much about that. I care about what comes along with this. I want planet chunk chords, planet chunk scenes. Do I do this? Add child chunk. Not just that. I've set up the information. I want to be able to access. It's a scene. It has been added as a child. So what I can do is chunk scenes dot append chunk that chords dot append, and what I want is data dot, it's a dictionary. I can retrieve data dot, so I use data dot chords. Why was it different elsewhere? Save planet. Planet data. Can't I use? Givar. Variant returns the next variant value from the file. Allow. So this should be Givar. This should return a dictionary. So I think I can just do that. If things mess up, well, you know, I've made a lot of changes. It may be hard to find. No, it should crash where the mistakes happen. Data dot chunk chords, which exists, right, in the dictionary that's been sent through here. But I need specifically foresee in I'm gonna need okay. Got a little bit of a headache going on. Don't know if it's the coding or something else, but I'm probably going to not code for 3 more hours. But just a little bit more. I'm gonna have to do chunks.size. This is an array of arrays. Size var chunk equals chunk preload instantiate. That's fine. C is what I care about. It's the chunk, but most importantly, data.chunks C. That should give me the value it was before. Data.chunks, and within which is C. Where else is it used? Nowhere. Okay. And then I can just do this. This is fine. But now, most importantly, C is an index, and I need it to be an index. Chunk chords, index of C. And it should return the respective coordinates of the array containing path-vector to arrays. I've appended both of these. Now add child. I also add child. This I should not do right now. So I want it to have the information, but I want the chunk to be added. Also, this stuff also I don't want to do. None of this. I want to delete that, but I'm confusing myself, so I'm gonna hold off on doing that. I gotta make sure I understand what I'm doing. My head's not letting that happen. Alright, well, chunk. So chunk has the children. That all happens well and good, which is great. There are no silent nights watching your brothers all die to destroy all their plans with no thought of me. No thought of me. Ah. Where do I even use this? I only use this once when I'm creating it. Okay, I figured. I don't even use that variable anymore. A lot of cleanup needs to be done. Yeah. Okay. Oh, wait a second. End chunk. Rather than doing that, I should append instead of calling it scenes, planet chunk data. And instead of putting that value in, I put data.chunk chunks C. Okay. So then that makes all of that useless. For C in data, chunks, size, add child, I don't want to do that either. What I want, the planet's got its coordinates, and its coordinates are set to being that. Radius is determined by the size, which is here. Radius is used for gravity. Data.size, and then I use both the chunk data and the chunk coordinates data for these variables here, which are utilized for the chunk system. Great. Get save data. Aha. Because right now, these chunks, they get modified, they get clipped. Sometimes they get clipped every frame or periods of time. So it's a lot of changes happening to their polygons. And the chunk data doesn't retain that information. I can make it retain that information though. So get saved data. Oh. Oh my goodness. Okay, so it's got that data. Get save data. Our data chunks. This is going to have to be chunk chords. Chunk chords. Chunks bar array. It does this to get all of those, but rather what I could do size planet chunk chords and planet. Okay, why don't I just not have them called that? I can have them chunk cores and chunk data, or I could just call this chunks. I like chunk data. Chunk data. Chunks, chunk data, and chunk chords. Setup chunk data. Which means I'm gonna have to rename other things as well. That's cool. Chords. Don't want the names to be consistent. So this makes it a lot nicer, I presume. This code doesn't work still, but that's okay. I'm going to chunk data. Expand chunk data. Where's this defined? Up here. Chunks. I want it to be chunk data. So if I scroll down, chunks. Alright, so it only happens there. That's good, that's good. Need to define chunk chords. I did chunk chords, and they are utilized down here. Set this information, that's proper. Start game. Generate planet. Save game. Got that. Planet data, planet chords, planet data contains that stuff. Cool. Load game. Oh, well, I mean, I checked. It should be fine. Void within here. I've got information that gets sent through to the planet, and the planet's got the stuff. The stuff. chunk size, chunk planar radius. Okay. And a chunk size. I have chunk size here. Where do I utilize that? 3 matches. Down here. Oh. Down here. Okay. So chunk size equal that. That does nothing. Right? Doing this is not useful. Instead, information is gonna have to be set up every time they're sent up, every time they're updated. Wow, I'm not doing super well. My brain. The information. Get polygons, yada Yeah, that data needs to be updated when things despawn, when they save, when they get saved. That information gets updated so that way they can be removed and added back the same way they were before. Which means if it's static body and it's in the group destructible, pen beta get polygons. I wouldn't want to append it. I would want to update. So I don't need to get the children specifically. I need to find the ones with the coordinates that match. The coordinates that match. That's the thing that stays the same. The coordinates that they have. I could use a other identification system, but I like coordinates. So this is gonna have to have all the static bodies are gonna have to have. The ones that are spawned in, they're gonna be spawned in, they're gonna be given their coordinates properly. Because when they're spawning in, I know which coordinates they're supposed to have, and then when I'm checking over all the bodies, I can check what coordinate do you have and what polygon does that correspond to, so I can update that polygon specifically with the polygons found within here. So far, chord that. Chunk words, which is going to be vector 2, vector 2I. And this is set elsewhere. I walk the city lonely, memories that are not passing by. A murderer walks your streets tonight. Forgive me for my crimes. Wonder if I could name all of the chunks after their coordinates and then get child. I got get children here. So if I found get child by name or something, add child, add sibling. I'm gonna find it. Oh, not name. Name. There we go. So there's, oh boy, there's a lot of matches here. Name. Unique name and owner. Add child. Order readable. Where's readable name? String name. This isn't gonna help me find it. Alright. I need to get child. Index include internal. I don't care about the index. I care about the name. Get child with the specific name. Get node. Get node sword. Calls will return a valid node. Okay, get node sword. It'll find that one. Okay, interesting. Oh no, I'm right there. It'll return that. Backpack slash dagger. We'll return that. Okay. Dot dot slash swamp alligator. So that's the root. Swamp alligator returns proper. Okay, interesting. And then root slash my game. Okay. All of those are valid. Dot dot and slash root and dot dot do the same thing, I guess. Cool. Nice to know. So I could utilize get node to find the one with the name. Get path, get parent, get node, and resource. I don't care. Just want the node. Get node. B and get children. Oh, instead, I'm going to toggle comment. And do or something and something. It B was for body, yeah. Body and get children. To node for for B in. Get, wait, or B in. Chord in. Chords, chunk chords. Record in chunk chords. So this will return a coordinate. What I want is that. I can set var chunk equals var. Yeah, it's a chunk. Var chunk equals get node, and then I use the name of it, str chord. And so if I've got them all named after their coordinates, it should retrieve the proper one. And then I can do whatever I want with it. And at this point, I already know that if they're named after coordinates, then they're good to go. I'm just gonna be lazy about it. I'll polish it later because I'm gonna be done soon. Chunks.append that. Get polygons. Get node. What I can do, this returns the body. Call. Get polygons on it. I can. And get polygons does this. Iterates over all its children. Checks if they're the collision polygon, because yeah, that's what it uses, and then it gets their polygons. Gets their polygons. So what I do is I append an array to the chunks. So it becomes an array of arrays of factor 2 array. So for chord in that, so then what I can do is call chunk dot get polygons. Children of the planet has this function, get polygons. So what I can do then is simple. I can set the data. I think it's just the set, yeah. So this returns an array. That's what I need. Chunk data dot set. At the index to this value. And what index do I use? Well, of course, I use chords dot get. Nope, find chord. This gives me the index I need. And this is the value I need to set. str. Why did I get rid of that? Come on. Get node. get node string chord that returns the node. I call the function get polygons, which returns an array of packed vector 2 arrays. So I set the value of index of chord accordingly, and it should all work. Wow! And this is called for every single chunk of chords. Now that's a problem, because not all of them are actually loaded in. Interesting. So this is gonna be only the ones in range that are loaded in are gonna be able to be updated, of course. Chunk chords. So what I can have is loaded chunks. Loaded chunks. Well then, why don't I just have an array of scenes, loaded chunk scenes? Like I have in the void for the planets, which makes this a whole lot simpler, I think. Are loaded chunk chords array equals nothing. Beautiful. So instead of having to do that, I just put in chunk chords for chord in loaded chunk chords. Chunk data. That's important. Chunk data set. Given the coordinates, the proper index sets it to the get node string wrong. What I need to do is polygons loaded chunk scenes get polygons wrong. It's gotta be loaded chunk scenes dot get variant from index. It's gotta be chunk chords find chord. Copy wrong again. Loaded chunk scenes. It's got to be. Oh no, that is fine. No, it's not fine. It's got to be something close. Loaded, because those ones are linked. This will return the proper index for this guy. Get this returns. It will return the scene, which I can call this function on to get the polygons. This will be altogether an array of packed vector 2 arrays, chunk chords dot find chord. This is an index here, so chunk data. The index chunk data will be proper updated. But this isn't updated. Nope. This isn't updated. No, it is updated. It is updated. That's the thing. That scene keeps updating every time I. This returns. No. This here returns the node, which will be updated get polygons, and I can call that function, which gives me the proper values. Okay, that's good. That's good. It's what I need. And that's the only update I need. I was thinking maybe I need to update the data of the loaded ones, but no, it's the scenes that automatically updates. I've just got a reference to them. Good. Good. I think I can remove this. Fantastic. Fantastic. All right. All right. Wow. All right, so I'm going to be done there. Bye-bye.